Welcome back to Before AGI Weekly, everyone. Your one-stop shop for everything AI. And man, this week, we've got a lot to cover.
A lot happened this week.
A ton happened this week. Market-shaking breakthroughs, a potential paradigm shift, a whole new global landscape forming. And that's just what we're going over in this deep dive, and we've got a lot to unpack. So
Yeah, let's get right into it.
I think we should jump right in. And joining us today is, our expert,
Hello.
who I think has an incredible knack for seeing all those little details and connecting those dots, really seeing those bigger trends that a lot of people miss.
What really stood out to me this week is how AI is impacting, well, I guess almost everything. Finance, infrastructure, and it even seems like it's starting to blur the lines between what humans and AI can do.
Yeah, it's something else. And I think that's a perfect way to kick things off because I guess starting with Monday, AI and crypto kind of collided in a big way. We saw research coming out of Stanford's AI lab that seemed to have a direct impact on the crypto markets. I mean, tokens like AGIX and FETI jumped 5% and 3% respectively.
It wasn't just a coincidence, though. This is something that I think we're going to start seeing more of. People are calling them AI oracles. It's where the AI research findings are directly influencing the decisions that algorithmic traders are making, even the creation of new instruments, new financial instruments. We could even see AI-certified crypto assets coming out in the near future.
AI making financial predictions.
Yeah.
It's definitely exciting, but
It's a little scary.
it's a little scary as well, yeah. I mean, where's the transparency, right,
Yeah.
and the control in the financial market?
Definitely. But it also shows the potential that AI has. It can analyze huge amounts of data and find patterns that we might not be able to see.
Yeah. And speaking of big data, I mean, big tech is really showing their hand. We've got reports that Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, they're collectively investing over $100 billion in AI compute infrastructure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And I don't think that they're doing this just to keep up with the trends. I think they're trying to secure a strategic advantage, what some people are calling sovereign AI. It's basically national level AI, and that could have really huge implications for the economy, even military power and influence on a global scale.
It's almost like a new arms race.
Yeah. Like a new arms race.
Instead of nukes, it's
It's
AI.
It's AI.
Yeah. And this isn't just about raw computing power. This is specialized hardware, software, the people that can train and deploy these complex models.
Talent.
Yeah.
And speaking of powerful AI, Samsung unveiled their new AI-powered Galaxy S25 Edge phone at Mobile World Congress, and this thing is packed with features. I mean, true AI companion, integration with their Project Moohan XR headset. It seems like AI is getting embedded into our daily devices. Definitely. And while all those personalized AI features are, like, really cool, I think that we also have to consider privacy and how intrusive AI could become. Remember that ambient AI framework that Google had? We are definitely getting closer to AI monitoring and responding to everything around us.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, the convenience, the personalization is great, but then there's the potential loss of privacy and control. And then there's Mira Murati, formerly of OpenAI.
Yeah.
Her new startup Thinking Machines Lab is making a lot of noise. They're trying to raise $1 billion at a $9 billion valuation.
Wow.
And they haven't even showed a product demo yet.
That's a lot of faith.
Yeah.
That shows how confident investors are in pure AI plays. I mean, VCs are really betting on AI disrupting every industry, and they're doing it without even seeing a concrete product.
It's like they're investing in the future of intelligence.
Yeah, I guess they are.
And that future is really taking shape rapidly. I mean, on Monday, we also saw news about how AI is accelerating medical research. We saw GPU-accelerated genomic analysis achieving crazy speed improvements, leading to breakthroughs in pancreatic cancer drug discovery.
It's insane how fast AI is speeding up scientific discovery. It's like we're entering a new era of medicine where treatments are personalized, diseases are cured before they even have a chance to develop.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even just the speed, right? I mean, AI is allowing scientists to analyze complex data sets, identify patterns that humans could never see.
Yeah, like completely new insights into how diseases work and better treatments.
Monday was wild. AI advancements in everything from finance to healthcare. And, some pretty deep implications along the way. So let's move on to Tuesday, where the global reach of AI became pretty apparent.
Yeah, I think that Tuesday really showed how much AI is expanding. We had global collaborations on AI ethics to a booming AI startup scene over in India. It's not just Silicon Valley anymore, it's worldwide.
It's everywhere. I mean, Columbia University, they hosted this huge AI summit. Researchers, policymakers from all over the world, all discussing AI's role in tackling those global challenges like climate change and healthcare.
It's so important to have these summits where we can collaborate internationally on how to govern AI and the ethical implications of it. We need some global frameworks to ensure that this is being developed and used responsibly.
Yeah, absolutely. And while the US is focusing on research and ethics, India's AI startup scene is exploding. Massive surge in investments, over $153 million pouring into companies developing AI solutions for everything from IT operations to personalized learning.
I think that this positions India as a major player. Alongside China and the US, we're going from this centralized AI ecosystem to something that's way more distributed, where different regions specialize in different areas of AI development.
It's like the entire world's waking up to AI's potential and everyone wants a piece of the action.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that action is heating up. I mean, remember that pancreatic cancer drug discovery we talked about on Monday?
Oh, yeah.
Well, on Tuesday, Innoplexis came out and they announced that their platform, their AI-powered drug discovery platform, had cut development time down from a year to 17 days.
That's
It's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we're living in a sci-fi movie now.
It really shows how transformative AI can be, especially in healthcare. We're on the verge of being able to diagnose and treat diseases with incredible speed and accuracy.
It's pretty wild. But it wasn't all good news on Tuesday. We saw some turbulence in the AI hardware market. Companies like QBDT, VNet, and KC saw some pretty significant drops in their stock values.
Yeah. I think that a market correction was kind of inevitable. The initial hype around AI hardware is giving way to something a little bit more realistic. People are taking into account supply and demand. I think it's more a sign of the market maturing than the AI boom being over.
Right. So Tuesday was a bit of a mixed bag. We had global collaboration, regional specialization, medical breakthroughs, and then a dose of market reality. What did Wednesday have in store for us?
Competition. That was Wednesday. We saw Huawei pushing into the AI cloud market, and we saw AI pilot zones popping up all over the place. It's becoming pretty clear that AI isn't just some technology, it's a strategic asset.
Yeah, and speaking of strategic assets, Huawei unveiled some pretty ambitious plans to become a major player in that AI native cloud market. They're challenging big players like AWS and Azure with a full stack architecture that integrates AI at every level.
I think this is going to be really good for smaller businesses and organizations that want to use AI because it's going to lower the barrier to entry. Huawei's basically democratizing AI.
And it's not just about cloud computing, though. I mean, countries are creating these AI pilot zones, these specialized zones,
Yeah.
to speed up AI development and attract those investments. You've got China focusing on commercial scaling with their DeepSeek models, the U.S. prioritizing research and development in things like autonomous vehicles.
I think we're going to see a lot more AI sovereignty in the future where countries and regions are developing their own AI ecosystems and maybe even their own technical standards. We could see a fragmentation of the global AI landscape.
It's almost like the internet is splitting up into all these different AI-powered domains.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and as that competition gets fiercer, we're seeing some groundbreaking stuff. I mean, cybersecurity firm Hunters, they debut their Pathfinder AI. It combines large language models with those AI agents for real-time threat response.
So it's not just detecting threats, it's responding to them in real time.
Yeah, I know, right? It sounds like something straight out of, like, a sci-fi movie, but
Imagine self-healing networks that can fix themselves before any damage is done. I mean, that's the future that we're looking at here.
that's pretty wild.
Hmm.
And, while some are focusing on competition, you've got others who are focused on establishing those global AI safety standards. The UK-led Global Coalition on Telecommunications released their first AI safety report, endorsed by over 30 nations.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
We really need these international agreements in place to ensure that all of this is happening ethically.
Yeah. I mean, Wednesday was definitely a day of contrasts, right? Intensifying competition alongside this awareness of the need to cooperate globally.
AI is complicated. We're seeing all the amazing things it can do and all the potential problems, so we have to be very careful.
Absolutely. Now, get ready for this one. It really caught my eye. I'm hearing a lot of buzz about a potential GPT-3 moment for voice AI.
Oh, really?
This new system called Sesame, and people are saying it could revolutionize how we interact with technology.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we actually have a short clip of it in action. Let's take a listen.
Cool. Wow, that's impressive.
Right. I mean, it's incredibly realistic. It sounds more human than some humans I know.
What makes Sesame so impressive is the technology behind the voice. They've managed to create a system that sounds really natural and engaging, but it uses a surprisingly small model, just 1 billion parameters.
That's remarkable, and they're planning to open source the model under the Apache 2.0 commercial use license, so anyone can use it, build upon it.
Open sourcing it could really have a huge impact, just like what happened with large language models when GPT-3 was released. It could lead to a lot of new innovation and applications.
And Sesame isn't just trying to be another voice assistant. They're talking about like creating these lifelike companions that can see the world with us, maybe integrated into lightweight eyewear we wear all day. It's a bold vision, and it raises some interesting questions about how we'll interact with computers in the future.
Yeah, it's blurring the lines between technology and our own experience. Some people are really excited about the possibilities, but others are worried about the psychological impact of forming relationships with AI.
Yeah, it's a topic that we need to explore more, for sure. But Sesame is just one example of how fast voice AI is progressing. VCs are pouring money into it, and Andreessen Horowitz even predicted that voice will be the main way we interact with AI in the future.
I can see that. Voice AI has the potential to transform so many things, from customer service and sales to education and healthcare. I mean, imagine you could have a voice agent that gives you personalized tutoring or therapy sessions anytime you need them.
It's powerful technology with the potential to do a lot of good. But like any powerful technology, we have to think about the ethical implications. What happens when these voices get so real we can't tell them apart from human voices? How will that affect our relationships and our sense of self?
These are all things we need to think about as voice AI keeps getting better. It's up to us to shape how it develops to make sure it benefits all of humanity.
Let's shift gears now and talk about Thursday, where the competition for AI compute infrastructure got really heated. We saw a report from the Center for Strategic and International Studies that highlighted how countries like China, France, Japan, and the UAE are investing heavily in AI infrastructure.
It really shows how important AI has become. It's not just about the technology, it's about national security and economic competition.
And some countries are going to extremes to get ahead in AI. We even saw reports of some countries turning to nuclear power to fuel their data centers. I mean, that's how much energy these large AI models require.
It makes you think about the environmental impact of all of this. We need to find ways to make AI more sustainable, both in terms of the hardware and the algorithms.
Definitely. But while some are building these huge data centers, others are figuring out how to get similar AI performance with less powerful hardware. DeepSeek, the Chinese AI startup, made headlines when they were able to achieve performance comparable to GPT-4 using older, less powerful chips.
That's a big deal. It shows how important software innovation is for AI, and it makes you wonder how effective export controls are. AI could spread really quickly, no matter what governments do.
And speaking of spreading quickly, Google went ahead and fully integrated their Gemini Zero model into their search platform. It can give AI-generated answers for complex queries. It sounds great for users, but what about online content creators? And what happens when AI-generated content starts taking over search results?
It's a huge change. It really makes you think about the future of the web. How can we make sure that human creativity and expertise don't get lost in a sea of AI-generated content? And how do we adapt to a world where AI is shaping so much of what we see online?
It really highlights how AI is changing the internet as we know it. Yeah. And these changes are happening everywhere, not just online. On Thursday, we also celebrated the Turing Award win for Andrew Bardo and Richard Sutton, who are pioneers in reinforcement learning. Their work has been essential in creating AI systems that can learn through trial and error, leading to breakthroughs in areas like game playing, robotics, and autonomous driving.
It just goes to show how important fundamental research is for AI progress.
Right. And Huawei didn't want to be left out of the party. They unveiled their plans for 5G advanced networks, which are optimized for AI. We're talking 10 times faster uplink speeds and AI-driven network optimization.
That could really help accelerate the adoption of edge AI, bringing those powerful AI capabilities directly to devices. Imagine, your smartphone or other devices could run complex AI models without relying on the cloud.
That would open up a ton of new possibilities for mobile AI applications.
It's an amazing time to be following AI with all these new discoveries and challenges emerging every day.
So Thursday was full of big announcements and even bigger implications. We saw the competition heat up, AI becoming more integrated into our lives, and the importance of research for driving progress.
AI is everywhere, and it's only going to get more integrated into our lives, from the devices we use to the infrastructure that powers it all.
So let's move on to Friday, where the focus shifted to the business side of AI infrastructure. We saw reports that Microsoft is canceling data center leases, which led to rumors of a slowdown in AI infrastructure demand.
People were freaking out, but I think it's important to take a step back. Microsoft said that there aren't any big changes to their overall AI infrastructure strategy and that they're still planning to invest billions in AI data centers this year.
And Satya Nadella, Microsoft's CEO, addressed this on a podcast recently. He said that he expects the AI infrastructure market to become oversupplied, which will drive down compute prices. He basically admitted that the industry is adjusting to the massive growth of AI and trying to find a more sustainable pace.
It's a reminder that even with all this excitement, the basic rules of supply and demand still apply. And we might see some consolidation in the AI hardware sector as things settle down.
But some companies are still going all in on AI infrastructure. We heard that Meta is thinking about a massive data center project that could cost over $200 billion.
Wow.
I know, right? It shows how committed they are to AI, especially for their plans with the metaverse. They're betting big on AI to create those immersive experiences. And Apple, not wanting to be left behind, announced a $500 billion investment in U.S. technologies over the next 4 years. Part of that includes a new AI server manufacturing facility in Houston. Seems like everyone wants to be part of this AI-powered future.
Apple's investment is a big deal. They've always been more focused on hardware, so this shows that they see AI as strategically important. They know they need to catch up to companies like Meta and NVIDIA.
Speaking of NVIDIA, they ended the week with a fantastic earnings report. They beat expectations, reassuring investors that the demand for their AI chips is still strong.
And Jensen Huang, their CEO, wasn't worried about DeepSeek's low training costs hurting chip demand. He said that the AI industry is still young and that demand for high-performance computing will only keep going up.
It was a week of conflicting reports and analyses, but one thing was clear. AI is here to stay, and the fight to dominate in AI is just getting started.
It's a really exciting time, but it's also a time to be thoughtful and make sure we're developing AI responsibly so that it benefits everyone.
So that brings us to Saturday, which was a big day for AI agents. Let's dive into that in part 3 of our deep dive.
I'm excited to see where all of this goes next.
Yeah, and I think a great way to do that is to, well, step back a bit from the daily news and look at those bigger picture questions about, the future of AI.
I like that idea. It's easy to get lost in all the headlines, but I think it's important to stop and really think about what this means long term.
Exactly. So let's imagine, some potential futures for AI. Like, what if we start with, I guess, the most optimistic scenario, the AI utopia?
AI utopia, a world where AI has solved climate change, eradicated disease, poverty is gone. We've even made contact with aliens. It's a pretty nice vision.
It sounds like a Star Trek episode, really, but could it actually happen?
It could. AI has the potential to solve problems we haven't been able to for a long time. Imagine AI-powered energy systems, so everyone has clean energy, or AI-driven medicine that can create personalized cures for any disease.
It's a future where, technology brings us together instead of dividing us. Everyone benefits from AI's progress.
But of course, there would be some challenges. We'd need to make sure AI is developed ethically and responsibly, that its benefits are shared equally, and we would have to figure out how to deal with the economic and social changes that would come with all that automation.
It's a lot to do, but not impossible. We'd all have to work together and be willing to change how things work.
Now let's look at the opposite, the AI dystopia.
Okay, so AI dystopia, this is where AI has gone wrong.
Huh?
We've got autonomous weapons, total surveillance, algorithms that make inequality even worse.
We've already seen examples of AI being used for bad things, and as it gets more powerful, that potential for harm grows too.
Right. I mean, technology isn't good or bad on its own. It's all about how we use it, so we have to make sure that we're using AI for good.
We need ethical guidelines, research on AI safety and security, and we need to work together internationally to stop those really harmful AI technologies from being created in the first place.
Yeah, I think that responsibility is something we can't ignore. The future of AI, it's not set in stone. It's all about what we do today.
Now, I think a more realistic scenario is probably something in between, AI integration.
Okay, so AI integration. This is where AI is just a normal part of life, right? Like AI assistance, personalized education, robots doing all the dangerous jobs, so we can focus on more creative and meaningful work.
Yeah. That kind of future has a lot of potential. I mean, imagine how much better healthcare, education, transportation could be.
But we also have to think about privacy, freedom, and how society will change. I mean, how do we make sure AI respects our values and that it doesn't take away our ability to make our own choices? How do we stop it from making existing inequalities worse?
Those are tough questions, and we need to keep talking about them and figure out how to integrate AI into our lives in a way that works for everyone.
This week was full of AI news, and it really highlighted just how fast things are moving and how important it is to have these conversations, to make sure AI benefits humanity.
It's been a pleasure diving into all of this with you. It's complicated and fascinating stuff.
And as always, everyone, I want to encourage you to subscribe to Before AGI Weekly for more of these deep dives into the world of AI. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Ian Ochieng AI, for tutorials and more in-depth discussions. We'll be back next week with more news and analysis. Until then, stay curious.